Amy. It had been years since I'd last seen her, the girl who'd won all of our hearts back in school. But there she was, standing over by the pool, chatting to my dad. Time had been kind to her. She looked even more beautiful than she did back then, her long dark hair falling down her sun-tanned back, crystal white teeth shining in the sun, and impossibly long legs that could give a man vertigo. She'd gone through boys in sixth form like teenage boys go through tissues. It seemed like every 2 weeks she was dumping one and then selecting her next victim. Old Joe Dixon had 3 or 4 turns, but the rest of us were left wondering what might have been. Despite her reputation and her ability to chew up boys and spit them out, she'd always kept those long legs well and truly shut. I'd had my turn. Our lips had met at her front door after I'd been chosen to walk her home from the youth club. But that's as far as it went. If my memory serves me right, we had one more date, where we shared a bag of chips and a couple of salt cut, and then I was discarded with the rest of them, while she was like a cruise ship, sailing on to the next port of call, not looking back. 12 years ago. That's how long it was. How much water has flown under the bridge since then? A lot for me. Married, 2 kids, and a recent messy divorce. So I had escaped to get some winter sun with my dad, who just 6 months ago had divorced my mum after 32 years of marriage. Both of us were apparently looking for sun, sangria and rebound sex to take our minds off the mess back home. Seeing Amy put a little spring in my step. A small voice in the back of my mind wondered if maybe, just maybe, we could rekindle the weak fires of old and go further than chips and cigarettes. A small voice. Ha! Who am I kidding? It was a large voice, a voice with a megaphone. But then the voices went quiet. Stunned silence fell in my head as I watched Amy and my father kiss. Not a peck on the cheek kiss, but a full-on snog. Hands everywhere, a real get-a-room kiss. I stood and stared in disbelief for a moment and then decided to leave them to it and go back to my room. But I was too late. My dad had decoupled himself and had seen me. "Hey, Josh," he called out. "Hi," I said, blushing profusely. "You know Amy, don't you?" he said. "Hi," I repeated, barely looking at either of them. "Sorry, I should have told you," my dad smiled. "Amy's come here for me. We've been together a couple of years." My mouth moved like a goldfish in a tank, but nothing came out.